Alright, what's up guys? So this is Paranormal Adventures, episode, I believe, 5. And so today I'm going to give you guys a little bit more history on the house itself, because I talked to Jamie, Carly, Marie, my significant other, about, I want a little bit more history, like, not just when the house was built, but what it looked like when you guys got the house, compared to what it looks like now, whether you moved any furniture, because if any of you guys know the paranormal at all, even a little bit, you would know that sometimes spirits can get an attachment to an object, not just a person or wants attention, to people that come in that they may not know, or whether it's residual and it's just their routine. They can get attached to something, whether it's like my grandfather and his, basically what I just called his favorite chair. And if I had that chair, I wouldn't be surprised if he was still sitting in that. So yeah, and I asked them, change any furniture, paint jobs, just change anything in the house from the first time that you moved in to now, which has been 4 years now that they've been living there. June will be 4 years that they've been living at that house. So I asked them and they said yes. Not only have they had a paint job, but they have changed the entire house around. And I'm like, oh, well, okay. So some of the things that are happening, it makes kind of more sense now. That, hey, because sometimes it'll piss some spirits off. Well, and the reason why I say that, because one of the most common things that happens in the house, because this part I'm going to mainly focus on the changes and why I think it could be the reason why some of these things are happening. The third part and the fourth part will be most of the paranormal experiences. I'll kind of split them in two. So one of the changes was the living room. And the living room, basically, if you didn't watch the first episode of this part, at least, it was basically set up so you walk maybe 6 steps, there'll be a opening. Turn to your right, there's the living room. And if you step foot in the living room, you can actually turn to your left, go at the very most 7-8 steps, there'll be another walkway, and that'll be the kitchen. Because there's a wall that separates the living room to the kitchen itself. And basically, the living room was set up that the couch was getting the wall up against the wall. TV was up against the wall that you would come into, and then there would be pictures and all that stuff. That's what it originally was like, or that's what they were told. But they changed that all around, everything, including putting some of the furniture that was left in there, mainly because it was very old. I mean, the people that were in the house were there for decades. I think, I'll have to ask them, but I think it was between 15 and 20 years that they were there. So a lot of that furniture that was there had been there since the beginning. So it was old. Took it out. And they wanted something where if you wanted to sleep on the couch, it was big enough that you could. So they did that. But they moved basically everything around. And I guess because I asked them, when you move things around from the living room to out by the thing to get picked up, or at least bring it to like Goodwill or Salvation Army or something like that, or sell it on like Amazon or something like that. I said, when did things start coming up once you moved everything around? They said 3 days, 4 days, and I'm like, okay. I said, do you see a pattern? And they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, yeah. So them just moving that was a clear example of, hey, this spirit, because someone did die before they got here. It was like 5 years before they got there. And the owner said that in the end, the couch was basically the most frequented place that this person would sit in, because it was cancer. And so it makes sense that this would happen. So a bulk of the experiences happen in the living room, and then some of them would happen in the hallway, and then that one time, that one experience that happened that's still kind of going on, happened in Carly and Marie's room. But most of the experiences, and probably the most frequented experiences, where the couch once was. Whether it's the smell of the cologne that the person used, or maybe a voice every now and then, or a knock, or a sound near that place. It's just, that's where it is frequently. And then I asked, what's another place that you basically changed everything? And they said, now the only thing where I'm like, because usually something would happen but it was Jamie's room. Jamie's room was changed completely, but nothing has happened in there. So I don't know why. Well, I guess maybe it does make sense, because no one died in that room. When they asked them what that room once was, and they said it was just a guest room, but they never really got any guests. So yeah, so it was basically just an empty room that sometimes they would sleep in. So there was really no attachment there. So I guess that would make sense. And then there was the whole backyard, front yard was completely changed, and that kind of makes sense because the one paranormal experience that I talked about on my Real Paranormal Stories channel, where they were walking home and they saw a shadow as soon as they closed the door. It was outside in the backyard, and they have a fence, and then the same shadow was seen in the front yard, and that happened for a while, so that was kind of weird. But that's kind of it for today's episode. The next two episodes will be for this house, and it will be paranormal experience. I think I'm going to do between 3 and 5 each episode, and then we'll go to the season finale, and that will be probably, I think I want to do Carly's house for the season finale. I think that's a good thing to end on. So there'll probably be between 10 and 11 episodes this season. So yeah, and I think also from now on, I think I am going to do 4 parts each house that I talk about, or place, or whatever. I'm going to talk about that from now on. And I will get to everybody's house that at least has had paranormal experiences and all that stuff. And then probably go from there. Because I already did all my house. I was in season 1, did every single house I ever lived in. Second season was mostly places in my city, and now I'm focusing these next few seasons, 3, 4, and 5 probably, will be on friends, significant other, and all that stuff. And even my significant other's parents' house, before they moved into the house that they have been living in for 20 years, 25 years. They did have one house for about 5 years, and then they moved. And that 5 years was very interesting. But, yeah. So make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.